TMCnet at Astrocon 2008.
So we're at the 5th annual Astrocon. We're in Glendale, Arizona, and with me today is Mark Spencer, the creator of Asterisk, as well as the founder and CTO of Digium. Mark, welcome. And in your position, you have a rather unique perspective on what's happening in the open source telephony industry. Maybe you can share with our viewers a little bit about your opinions on the evolution of telecom and sort of how it's progressed over the years.
Well, Asterisk has certainly started out as a tool, of course, for us at Digium as a PBX, and it has replaced traditional PBX systems, IVR, conferencing, all sorts of sort of traditional applications, and now it's even expanding beyond that into new kinds of applications that simply didn't exist before. So, for example, today I was speaking with a lady from a company called Everybody Counts, and they're actually doing voting all around the world in real elections using Asterisk.
Is that interesting? Any chance we're going to see it in this year's general election here in the States?
Not in this general election, but they did do part of the primaries, and they're doing much bigger elections outside the U.S., legislative elections, and so on.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, that's an interesting leap, going beyond traditional telecom applications.
Right, and that's why I think it is the most exciting thing that's going on is this transition of not just the regular systems, but the much more advanced things too.
Right, great. So, as we mentioned at the outset, this is the 5th annual Astrocon. I imagine you've been a part of all of them since its inception, of course. How has the event evolved, and how does this event this year compare to past events?
Well, this is probably one of the most, I think this is probably the best event that we've had, certainly. And it's not really just the quantity of people that are here, but it's the quality of the companies that are represented. It's the quality of the companies that are exhibiting here. It's just the whole thing has been really just a fantastic event.
Excellent. Yeah, now I look around the room. Maybe we'll get a shot of the room later, but they really did paint it all orange for you guys.
Yeah, they did. The venue's been very good here, too.
That's great. So, speaking of buildings and venues, you guys, Digium has just recently moved into a new building in Huntsville. I was fortunate enough to be there, and it really is a world-class facility. And you yourself have changed roles a little bit as well. You've sort of gone back and embraced your role as chief developer at Digium as well. How's the transition been from a startup to a more maturing company? Has it been a fun ride?
Yeah, I sort of like to compare, even though I don't have kids, I compare it to raising kids, and I say, well, at 4 years old, you probably know 90% of what's going on in your child's life, and at 16, you might know 10% if you're lucky. And that's sort of what it's like growing a company of the size that the Digium is you just sort of reach a point at which the nature of the company changes, and it's not just, people used to think of Digium as Mark's company, and it's just so much more than that now. It really has its own standing, and it is exciting, but very different, the way that I relate with Digium today from the way I related with Digium when I first started it.
Okay. And so this is sort of my last, most open-ended question I could possibly ask. What does the future hold for Asterisk, and what do you envision, the future for the software that you've created?
Well, there's work I think that Digium can do to expand the core functionality, in terms of especially as we work to do more to make scaling Asterisk easier, to make it more transparent than what you have to do today to scale Asterisk. But the biggest thing I think is really the applications that people are building on top of it. I'm very impressed with a lot of the frameworks people have built, like Inhesion, for example. And I'm impressed with the applications like Everybody Counts, where now things are moving not only to new kinds of applications, but even new kinds of business applications. So whereas, I used to talk a lot about botanicals and about, queue games where, you're answering trivia questions and move up ahead in the queue if you get them right and fall back below. Now we're seeing that kind of ingenuity being applied to solving business problems, and people building real businesses on top of new kinds of applications that simply didn't exist, where you're just using telecom as a channel to be able to support something else. And I think that's really a big part of the future.
Right. Okay, Mark. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time and speaking with us today. We've been speaking with Mark Spencer, the creator of Asterisk, as well as the CTO and founder of Digium. Thank you.